Hey everybody, it's Elliot from Little Punk People here, and today I'm here with the one and only Kirk from Crowbar. And Crowbar has a new album coming out called Zero and Below. It's going to be released March 4th. I got to listen to it early, and I have to say, it is absolutely incredible. But
Awesome. Thank
anyways,
you.
no problem. Let's do this. My first interview with you was 5 years ago. If you can go back
Wow.
in time and say anything to that 5 years younger version of yourself, what would you say?
I probably should have been doing doing a little more healthy things for my life like I am now. So the last, at least last year or last 8 or 9 months, I lost about 30 pounds and really cut back a lot on alcohol and just hitting the gym, eating clean and watching. I mean, I'm almost 57 years old, so I've had my fun and I still have fun, but fun for me now is getting up at 5:30 in the morning and being at the gym at 6:30, but it's a good thing, so I wish I would have did it earlier. I have some spine issues with my neck, to be honest, it's been bothering me for 15 years, just slowly building up. And it finally started where like numbness in my picking hand, which has been going on and off for 10 or 12 years. It started getting bad. So I went to a chiropractor and did x-rays and everything. And her quote was, she said, well, it's pretty bad. She goes, you have severe degeneration of the discs in your neck. And she showed me. So I go 3 days a week for treatment. And so far it seems to be helping. I feel better. My hand feels better, but it's something I've dealt with. It was really bad in 2011 to the point where I couldn't even hold a pick for very long. I just sort of pick out in the crowd and strum. And if I had a guitar solo, I'd grab a pick off the mic stand and do the solo and throw a pick back out and strum with my thumb. So it's been worse than this before. It's getting better. So, but just in general, the eating habits and all that kind of stuff, I'm doing so much better with, and it's a lot healthier. So 5 years ago, I think was the first one by Dingbats.
It might have been Dingbats. I don't
I,
exactly
I think
remember.
I think it was Dingbats in
Yeah,
Jersey.
you're probably right.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you good luck with health moving forward.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. I love the breakdown in your song Chemical Gods. Where on earth did that riff come from?
Well, the actual middle section, I wrote pretty much the rest of the song, but the middle section is a riff that Matt Brunson, the other guitarist, and we're jamming along, and I'm like, all right, fellas, right now we need something totally different. And Matt goes, well, I got this riff, and he played it, and I liked it, but I really loved it when we got in the studio and started layering the harmony guitars and everything on it. That's when it really, really took on a life of its own. And it's a perfect example of like collaborating with someone else. Like I would have never written that riff. I wrote the other riffs, but I would have never written that one, So, but it's a great, great riff, and it really brings it brings a song to another place, and then it comes back even heavier and harder and more aggressive at the end. So it's a good one.
Yeah, I love it. Your song Denial of the Truth gives me heavy Typo Negative vibes. Do you agree that it's one of your best vocal performances?
I would say yes. And it's also one of the truest doom songs of Crowbar's career. Like the people in Europe are loving it because they're like, it's like proper doom, which of course Typo can be one of the doomiest bands ever. And they're obviously one of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it was definitely influenced by stuff like that whole vibe. But I think vocally, I'll agree that's probably my best performance. So I'll take that as a cool.
No problem. I love the harmonies that you do throughout that song too, with your voice.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. When I did the solo record, the music's so much more mellow that my voice really changed and kind of improved a lot, I think. And I started doing a lot of harmonies, even 3-part harmonies, and I've really gotten pretty good at it. So, I've got some solo stuff to sing for my second record tomorrow. And so far it's coming out great. But thank you, for the compliments. I've really been working at it, and I do agree. I'm glad someone else agrees as well. But it's definitely something. I think I really like where my voice is headed right now.
Awesome. Another cool song of yours is Crush Negativity. How do you stay so nice in a world that sometimes makes it hard to not become negative?
Honestly, to answer that, like, honestly, to answer for you being honest, it's very difficult. But honestly, I've said that enough. Being honest, I've said. um, I've tried as I get older to still write about dark subject matter and everything, but in the past, I would just I'd write about something terrible and just leave it. Like it was just negative. There was no light at the end of the tunnel, no hope for anyone or whatever. So as I've gotten older, I'll continue to write about dark subject matter, but I always try to throw in that, little light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, thing. So, there's nothing wrong with crushing negativity, but in this day and age, in this world, it's very difficult to be positive all the time, and I don't think anybody is, but if I find myself thinking negative, I sit back and say, man, look, I blessed you all for everything you've got, everything you accomplished, fuck it, crush negativity, let's be positive, and that's that.
And that is a good way to crush negativity, to get all that negative stuff out through music.
Absolutely. And for me, lyrically, like if we do that song live or something, or even not, just doing it in the studio is very therapeutic. And that's why I think, years and years ago, like early to mid 80s, I remember our interview with Rob Halford, and he was talking about, and I see Halford in the background there.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, the metal god, hands down, no doubts. But he was talking about how heavy metal was getting such a bad rap in the press, and he goes, honestly, I find it very therapeutic, and he goes, the fans are headbanging and loving it, and nowadays, this is before, at least at metal shows, maybe at punk and hardcore shows that have pits and, slam dancing or whatever they call it, moshing now or whatever. But, back then at metal concerts, everybody was just, I can't do that anymore with the neck. But he's right. It's very therapeutic to listen to this heavy music and just kind of get your emotion, like it's aggressive. It makes you want to just punch a wall or something, not necessarily another person, but it makes you want to punch something.
Yes.
And, but getting that out is a great feeling, like you leave the concert, or like I'll leave the stage feeling like, it's a breath of fresh air. I feel positive. I feel great, and that's the way it should be.
Yes. Music is truly a special thing.
Absolutely.
After all these years of making music, do you still get nervous or anxious before shows or recording?
Not recording as much, because I can always say stop, start it again. But I still get butterflies in my stomach, term that everyone uses. Yeah, it's I don't care if it's a little club like Dingbats or 80,000 people at an open air festival in Europe. It's just something about, but it's more excitement. It's not a fear. It's not like an anxiety fear. It's a nervous anxiety of like, I'm ready to go do this. Let's go, and it's right. It's more about the excitement of just getting out there and killing it, and I think when you lose that, maybe it's time to retire. If you're not excited, like I said, not a fear, but just it's just everybody's like, on that last nerve, like let's just do this, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. After all these years myself doing interviews and stuff, I've always been nervous, waiting, but excitement, nervous that you were talking about.
Right, which is a good excitement,
Yeah.
Good nervous.
And then I would notice that right when it starts, I'm completely not nervous anymore. It's just I'm ready to go.
Yep, and you're right. It's like the second I hit the first chord,
Yes.
and all right, we're Crowbar, I'm smiling. I'm like, yeah, we're here. Let's do this.
Yeah. A lot of your song titles seem to deal with lies and deceit. Do you feel like it's hard to trust a lot of people these days?
Um, Yes, in general, I mean, no, I guess the old term, you get wiser as you get older. Although Judas Priest have a great song called "You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise," but off of British Steel. But I'll say it. I mean, it's not so much a trust thing. I just find as I get older, my I have a lot of acquaintances, but my true and dear friends list has kind of, for no particular reason, it's just kind of gotten smaller of the people that I truly trust. Um, and I think that's a natural thing in life, because you learn from your mistakes. And maybe, I mean, I try to, always be a positive and, uplifting kind of attitude with people. And maybe sometimes I'm too trusting, and you don't want to get screwed over, anymore in your life with especially the business side of things. But people that if I go to a pub to have some beer or whatever, they're friends. Some of them are close friends, but most of them are just acquaintances. You listen to heavy metal and you drink some beer, so it's but it's I found out my list of people that I consider true friends has gotten smaller as I've gotten older.
Same. And I'm only 17.
Wow. 17. Jeez, my daughter's almost 19, but that's crazy. But yeah, and you'll find that as you grow up and you experience life, I mean, at my age, almost 57. So I'm almost 40 years older than you. So, but so in the next 40 years, you'll see, and God knows where the world's. I mean, I'll be long gone, but God knows where the world is going to be. Then and I've tried to let my daughter, like she started. She's a freshman at LSU this year. She's coming to stay with Robin and I this weekend, so we're excited about that. But tried to she's a great kid, makes great grades, really got a good head on her shoulders, works hard. But I tried to explain a lot of these things to her because she kind of had her first boyfriend and that didn't work out. And we talked about like I'm really, she lives with a mother, but me and her have a special relationship. And I don't think her mom will see this, but we have our own little, she's like, this is between you and me, right, Papa? And I'm like, absolutely, babe.
Your song Is Always Worth the Gain has great drums, and the song has a slight Gene Simmons / Kiss feel to it. Did you have that in mind when you wrote it?
Actually, I wrote that song. I included Tommy on the credits because he did so much drum work. But I was sitting in the studio and I'm like, I had listened to the song Rock and Roll by Motorhead off obviously the Rock and Roll album. And I'm like, the reason that you probably saying it feels a bit like Kiss, to me, it feels like it could be Kiss, it could be AC/DC. The thing is, it's more of the verse of that song is more rock and roll. And it's an old thing that's been going on forever where you play a riff, bow, now, now, wow, now. And then the vocal line comes in like a call and answer thing. And I was telling the producer, I said, we don't have a call and answer type song. We never have, where it's more of a rock thing. And then I told Tommy, because the way we do it is I put down a scratch track and to a click. And then Tommy comes in and does his drum thing, So when he came in, I let him hear it to the click track. And I said, dude, I want you to go off. And he goes, like how much go? I said, just go off. Like go freaking Keith Moon from The Who, just go crazy. And he's like, you serious? I'm like, yeah. So he went off so much that in the second verse, 2 lines, I had to leave vocals out because I didn't want to change what he had done on the drums. I thought it was beautiful. And I'm like, one of the guys, I think from Decibel magazine, I think it was him. He goes, when I first heard that song, I said, this is arena sludge. He goes, it's very hard not to just feel, because it sounds like an old Kiss anthem or something, not the chorus, but the verse does. And then, of course, the second half of the song sounds a little heavier, more like Crowbar, but it's something I wanted to do. I told the guys, I said, man, this is fresh. This is different. And I can't stop. It's been like, for us, I mean, I don't know if you're aware, most people aren't, but we completed this record in February of of 2020, right before the pandemic. So we've been sitting on it for 2 years. And I still go to that song all the time, like on the CD player, because I'm old school. I don't even have music on my phone. I still go to that song. Like if I'm listening to a few songs, I always make sure I listen to that one, sometimes 2 or 3 times in a row. So it's something that I think on headlining shows, we're going to try to start working it in and just see how the crowd reacts, because it doesn't really sound like Crowbar. It does, but it doesn't, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
So we didn't want that to be like a video song and have everybody go, what are they doing? Like the next video will be the track before that, which is Bleeding from Every Hole. I think track 6. And that's a heavy, like more carnivore and angry and, hardcore type thing. And with a lot of good metal in there as well. But yeah, so we held off on It's Always Worth the Gain for like a video song, but it's something that we want to try out live, and just the crowd may go, oh, this sucks, and everybody goes to the bathroom, or they may, really get into it.
And I gotta say, I love that song, so I don't think you should be worried about the audience's reaction.
Oh, the track 7?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I'll tell them if you think it sucks, tell that to Elliot.
Who are your top 5 favorite guitarists of all time?
Okay. Ace Frehley, Michael Schenker, Edward Van Halen, Gary Moore, and Dimebag.
All incredible choices. You can't go wrong with any of them.
Thank you.
Do you ever think about how many people you've helped in life through your music?
Pretty much every day. And I think that kind of keeps me trying to be on a positive road as well. And I just believe that I've been put on this earth. I was given a gift. Why not use it? And the older I get, the more I want to use it to help people, because there's not a show that I play or a day that I get on Facebook or something that somebody doesn't tell me how much the music and lyrics have helped them go through a dark period in their life. So I think that's why I threw Crush Negativity in there, instead of keeping everything negative, and in the early days I was like that. I'm like, well, what? I didn't even know how to write lyrics. I'm like, yeah, all I did is, okay, well, on this song, Peter Steele is really mad because his girlfriend's cheating on him. So maybe I'll write a song about that. And I just leave it negative, like, anti female or something. And I'm like, as I came into my own, a few records in, I started trying to throw more positive, like I said, the light at the end of the tunnel. But for me, like lyric wise, writing lyrics, I don't really tell stories. Like the song, It's Always Worth the Game, for instance, is about being in the music business. Like, do you have all that you need to rise above the hate and greed? At some point, but this game you're in, it is for life. You're on your own to fight the strife. And then the second verse, your hunger better always burn. You never guarantee to turn. And then Tommy does some crazy drums, and I forget the last few lines, but it's just saying like, you better be on your toes at all times. When you get on stage, you better be ready to kill, just, not literally, but metaphorically, you better be able to kill the crowd and give them 110% every night, whether the crowd's empty or it's packed or whatever. It doesn't make a difference. You got one chance. It's kind of like, throw him out there, and hopefully we don't pull him off stage with the old cane like in the old days, cartoon stuff or whatever. I don't know if that was a real thing, but yeah, man, it's like every gig is an opportunity to please your fans and to make new fans. So, you got an opportunity to go out there and do it. You better do it, and that's what that song's all about, is just, you better have the guts to do it, because if you don't, you're not going to last very long, which is kind of a take on Twisted Sister, the song Stay Hungry. Dee Snider's one of my favorites, one of my favorite vocalists, favorite lyricists. And, I really look up to him a lot. He's a great dude. And, the lyrics to Stay Hungry, I wasn't even thinking about it at the time until I wrote the line, your hunger better always burn. And I said, all right, I use hunger, kind of like stay hungry, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that's what that song is about. It's not about, it's about like, okay, you want to be in this music industry, you better grow a set, you know.
Every single night, give it your all.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Yes. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to say thank you. And, hopefully we'll see you soon. I know we're playing, where are we playing there? Where do y'all live? I've seen you in Philly. I've seen you in Jersey.
We live in Jersey.
Okay. Well, I know we're playing Irving Plaza with Sepultura in the city.
That's
So so hopefully, and I think that's all ages, I think. Hopefully we'll see y'all there, man. And if not, hopefully somewhere else very soon. But I want to thank you very much. You do a great job. You're always a great interview. And honestly, you ask better questions than people 3 times your age. So keep at it.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. And of course, keep doing music. I mean,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
You too.
All right, bro. Thank you.
Have a nice day.